Hello, guys. Do you have something for your pet that looks something like this? This is a pet watering fountain. These are common for small dogs and cats, especially cats. Um Dogs seem to, in general, want to drink a little bit more easily than cats do sometimes. And if you're like my cat, I struggled to keep her hydrated, it seemed like. She just didn't drink until it was absolutely necessary. And this has been an absolute game changer. See, there she is. That's Biscuit. Say hi, Biscuit. And she came to check out and see what we were doing. She absolutely loves this thing. See, she's getting herself a little drink right now. Look at that. Such a good girl, Biscuit. So, there are some things to know about these, though. You can't just take these, put some water in them, refill them every so often when they need a little bit of water, and call it good. These need to be maintained and cleaned. They have filters in them that have to be replaced regularly. The whole unit has to be cleaned regularly, and um, the pump inside has to be cleaned as well. You can dismantle the pumps on these to clean them. Man, she's getting a good old drink. She never did that when I had just had bowls. She loves this thing and she loves drinking from it and will drink from it all the time. And you can tell because you will see a big difference in the number of little balls. If you have that clumping litter for the litter box, especially, you'll see the difference in the amount of those clumps that you find that indicate she's urinating and staying hydrated. And in the weather that we've seen around the country lately, that's really important. You definitely want to keep your cat hydrated to keep them as healthy as possible. Um, but when you have one of these, you also want to make sure that they're drinking clean water so that they're going to be healthy. You don't want it to have bacteria in it or anything like that. Man, and she is just slurping it down, isn't she? So, if she ever gets done, I'm going to dismantle this thing. Oh, there she goes. So, I'm going to unplug this and take it into the kitchen and set you up and show you how to clean one of these things and replace the filters. Alrighty, here we are at the kitchen counter. I've got to share it with my daughter who's cleaning some stuff out for her cold press coffee maker. Um, but basically, we have the unit that comes apart. Most of these things, you just lift this out. See, this whole thing just lifts right out. Sometimes this will come out. Sometimes it will just rotate, whatever. This comes out. Here is our filter. These will be there's a lot of these that have common filter designs, and you can see there's little insect fragments, things that get filtered out. These have activated charcoal in them and other things that will help pull impurities from the water. Matter of fact, while I've got this here, let's just cut this open and see a little bit about what is in these, because I've never actually done that. So you've got a bag in there of activated charcoal, and this is a resin bag that's going to pull out. This is generally used to pull out things like um, mineral hard water hardness. They help prevent water hardness. I have a softener in my house, so I shouldn't need that as much. And same thing over on this side. Nothing super fancy, but you can tell on a new one this won't be this dark. So that's what those filters do. In my sink over here, I have warm water, nice hot water, but not enough to scald me, with a little bit of bleach in it. Basically, we want to put this stuff in there and get yourself a nice toothbrush and a little bit of soap and clean this out. Now, my pump comes out too. Let me pour this water out. and you look inside there, there's a pump with a filter that filters just before it goes into the pump. This is just a simple foam. A lot of the time, you can reuse these for a bit. I don't like to reuse these more than a couple of washings. So I'm going to put that in my bleach water, squeeze it and run some water through it and let it sit. The pump right here, these will either clip in, or mine has suction cups that hold it in place. And an LED, mine also comes with this cool LED light that I absolutely love that slots in down here. And mine is USB powered as well. So I can pull this whole thing completely out to clean all of this. Get me some nice water in there, bleach water, and let that cook basically. Now this right here, the pump, every little bit, even the rubber feet, I want to clean the rubber feet, everything. Both ends of this are designed to come off. You just pull and it comes off. See, that just covers the back, so it's pretty, that's all. This is the part you want to pay attention to. If you get one of these with a pump that does not come apart, send it back. Make sure your pump comes apart to clean it, because all these little internal workings here will get stuff gummed up in here, so that you not gummed up, but like bacterial growth and things like that. Get all the fuzz off my knife. That little motor cover comes off, and this impeller here that you see, that's what actually spins to make the water. These lift out. See, it sticks to my knife. It's just a magnet. This magnet. The motor inside here has a matching magnet, so that when it spins, this spins to match that magnet inside. It's a pretty cool design. So inside here, you're going to need a Q-tip or something to get down in there. Otherwise, you just take all of this stuff with your toothbrush and a little bit of soap and scrub away. You don't want to use a massive amount of soap. I'm just going to squirt a tad bit right there on my counter so I can get a little bit and just go to town cleaning everything like that. So I'm going to do a quick time lapse here doing that. Set all this here to show that I've cleaned it. Make sure you get all nooks and crannies of this. It doesn't take much. It's not hard. If you've got an old Sonic toothbrush head, that works beautifully to clean these too. And it's super quick and easy. As long as you keep this cleaned out, you will never have to worry about having problems with contaminating for anything for your cat. If you've got a single cat like I do, you may only need to do this about once a month. If you've got a couple of cats, you may need to do this a little bit more often. Never reuse these filters. Although every 2 weeks I do pull this apart and just gently wipe everything down real quick and clean it. But I don't do a full cleaning but once a month. So let me finish that up and we will come back. All right, guys, so basically I'm just going to go through and finish doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to go get myself some Q-tips so that I can get down inside the small holes that this won't fit into. I do plan on buying some small bristled brushes at some point in time so I can fit it down in there. Or you can find like a baby's toothbrush that has a narrow head that will fit down in there too. Anything to get down in these holes, because that matters as well. Make sure you get down in everything. And literally, this only takes you like 5 minutes or so once you get used to doing it. It's not that big of a deal. Real quick, showing you just taking the Q-tip, getting down inside all the areas where the motor is. Real easy to do. Keep it clean. You won't have to worry about a lot of buildup. So Continuing on, almost done here. Just have to finish cleaning the motor and then we'll be done. All right, once you have finished cleaning everything, rinse it thoroughly. Ooh, water's awfully hot. Get the water pretty hot. No, it doesn't need to be super hot. Don't need to boil yourself. But rinse everything off very thoroughly to make sure you get as much of those impurities off as you can, plus all the stuff, whatever you use to clean it. Your mild bleach solution and mild soap. Rinse all of it off really well, and then we will reassemble it. All right, we have everything cleaned and laid out here, so let's put it all back together. First, put the little impeller piece back into the motor. I love how that does that. Put your little cap on, and notice that there's a notch on that. That goes up because water has to come down and go through that notch. So make sure that is up. Usually, see there's flats here. That has to go on this side right here, and you can look right down in it. If you can't look down in and see your impeller, you know you got it wrong. Put the back on. And when you're cleaning everything, don't forget to clean these wires too. If you got wires running through there, clean these, wipe these off too. Get everything. This goes over this part here, clips back in, and this whole unit, in my case, just sits right inside. This side, if you've got one of these where you have a filter that goes inside, like that, this goes to the filter side as it pulls water in through there and then shoots it out through this. So make sure it's butted up against that filter side there like that. And I've got my LED. I got to sit back down here. I love these with the LEDs in them. It just looks so cool. And at night, it attracts the cat. She'll be running through, going through to play or something, and she'll look over there and see that light and hear that sound, and it'll make her stop to go drink. Now, on this, you noticed probably that mine was sitting on a black mat. These do, when the water comes out of this, it splashes down into this little area here, and no matter how much you try and adjust the direction of these, there's microfine little droplets that will splash over, and you can have like this moist damp formation on the floor around this, just 3-4 inches, 5-6 inches around the floor. There's not much you can do to stop that from happening. It's just the nature of how water droplets work. I just got me a cheap $6 Walmart doormat, and that solved the problem. So this goes back in first, I do believe. Yep. See, it all lines right up on the center there. This sets down on top of that, and that goes right inside the motor piece there. And then I just take this and push it back down in. And I can turn this to orient it however I want. And this, if you will look down in there, if you notice there's slots in there, you can open and close that a little bit to help change the character of the waterfall. So let me get a big old, actually, I can just do this. We'll fill this back up. These will hold a lot of water too. It is amazing how much water these will hold. And it's amazing when your cat uses these, how much your cat can go through the water that they weren't drinking beforehand. He's back behind me munching on a little bit of solid food right now. Okay, when I fill these up, I don't fill this up beyond this line in here. You want the water to flow out of this pan down into here, so you do want a little bit of a gap there. So remember that. You'll know it when it's too full. Now, let me go get something to. Actually, let's just take you back in there and we'll plug this back in. Oh, doggone it. We almost forgot this. Can't do that. Thankfully, it's as easy as picking this whole thing up, taking our filter, and this has little arms on it that tell you which way this goes in. It just sits down in there. Almost forgot one of the most important pieces, and I probably, before I put that in there, should rinse it off just to make sure, get the manufacturing dust off, basically. Nothing special. There we go. Now we can put this back in there. Almost forgot one of the most important pieces. Okay, so let's plug her back in. And there you go. It's back up and running again, and she's already in here investigating our handiwork to make sure she's satisfied that we've cleaned it good. She's a careful inspector. But it looks like we did good. She's drinking, she's happy. So I think we did a good job, guys. What do you think? Yep, that's a good kitty. Yes. Okay, guys. Thanks for sticking around with me to help show you how to clean one of these things. If you care about your pet, if your little fur baby is part of your family, then it is very important that you do whatever is necessary to help take care of them. And this is something super easy to do. These things are not expensive. I got this less than 20 bucks on Amazon. You can find them in the pet stores at pet store prices for 40 bucks or less. The filters are not expensive. I got 8 of them. I think were about 15 bucks, something like that. So super easy. And the little foam piece, I'm going to replace that every 2 months. I think a dozen of those was like $6, $10, something like that. So my annual expense for the year to clean and maintain and replace the filters on these things might be 40 bucks. That's a whole lot less than a vet bill for the cat. So very important. And I hope you take the time to keep your pet healthy and happy by cleaning your everything that you use on them, especially if you have one of these amazing pet water fountains. Talk to you guys later, and enjoy your pet.